Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the Hydreigon here in the lead, and this thing is actually a really good counter to Gyarados if they're on their Waterfall, which is currently the preferred moveset for a lot of people, so that's kind of nice. And it actually impressed me a little bit. Like, I went, I think, on a 9-game win streak in the beginning here already, which was crazy. I don't know what's actually in the video, like a 9-game win streak. Again, it gets randomized a little bit. But yeah, like I went on a really good run for the first like 3 sets. The last 2 sets that I played with it weren't like that good, to be honest. We just gotta leave them out. But the first 3 were good, which is of course all that matters. Of course, this thing is not meta whatsoever, but it's kind of fun to use, I think, because they have like a little bit more different kind of, I don't know, moves and whatever here. We have the Flash Cannon on it because like I think it has Dragon Pulse otherwise, which is something that you don't really want to use anyway, especially if you have the Dark Pulse, which is already better. And at least this move, the Flash Cannon, gives you some answers against fairy types, even though like their answers are not always the best. I think like a Flash Cannon still doesn't do even nearly enough to KO a fairy type, but at least he can try, okay? Maybe it's like better against something like Florges. Speaking of fairy types, hi Sylveon, hi lag. I actually said like the day prior that I didn't really have a lot of lag, and like yesterday it was really horrible again. There's also some times where I lost some battles afterwards. Like the lag was kind of insane sometimes, but what can you do? Still, like for me, it was still playable. I don't know, like it's fine. We still see the Metagross here against the Excadrill. Please try your best, Excadrill. You have 2 shields. Like, what do you want to do here? Bye bye. And we're gonna easily win this game here as well. There's not a lot that my opponent can do here, as you see, by the way, a new thumbnail style. I wasn't really that happy with the font always on that. I'm still gonna switch in between font and no font, depending on how the Pokemon looks and how the, like in general, like how it all works out. I have to see. I kind of want to have it a little bit more like, I don't know, easier. I don't know. It just really depends, but for like those thumbnails it works out pretty well. For example, the last one with Florges, it didn't really look that good, so I left it with the font depending on like what I really want to do. We have to see. But here we have the Snorlax against us. We go into our Hydreigon. We can of course take a superpower that's around like 50%. We can take another one as well. Lick is resisted. They go into their fairy type, which is so amazing for us as we have our Metagross. And we're not gonna throw a single move here. We're just gonna farm all the way down. And this is the thing with Metagross. Other than the Gyarados, that's why Gyarados is so common anyway. Nothing that really wants to come into a Meteor Mash or like an Earthquake. Both of them are really, really good. And they go into the Snorlax, we just go straight for the Meteor Mash. As we see this Surf Edge coming in here, and we still have a move slot anyway on our Gyarados. We go in there, we go for the Awkward Tail, and we're gonna be able to win this game pretty easily with like 2 more Waterfalls there. Good game to my opponent. Next up, we're gonna have Hydreigon against Magnezone, which is of course one of the worst matchups in general for my backline, so we have to stay in here. But we're gonna be able to resist the electric type moves, which usually you don't really see that often with the dragon types, as they part flying a lot of times, or sometimes even part of water. But yeah, we resist most of the moves, and I should have swapped out earlier because my backline is a little bit weak against Magnezone, but we're just gonna swap out now. We're gonna get the Gyarados a little bit lower, so it's in 1 crunch range, which is gonna be amazing for our own Gyarados here, which is sadly not a good IV one. I think my opponent has the same IVs. I have a 100% one. I actually got another 100% one from a quest recently, but I don't have the Elite TMs right now to use on that thing, so yeah, a little bit weird. But here you see, by the way, we get them to 1 HP in a Dream. This is the amazing thing about Dragon Breath users. Dragon Breath are gonna hit them before they can go for the charge move. He does definitely had one stored. But now we have a Metagross with 2 shields against the Garchomp here with 0 shields. They can go for as many Sand Tombs as they want, as this Meteor Mash already gonna put them very low. They're just gonna surrender anyway, and this is gonna be a good game. Next up, Rhyperior. It is the Smackdown version, which means basically we catch the move perfectly here, by the way. This was also an amazing game. I remember this game. This was nice. We catch the move there. They have the Dragon Breath. It's basically like pretty decent counter against us the entire time, but it's still going to come down to the wire at the end. It's going to be a really, really cool game. But yeah, of course, with a Smackdown version, you have a decent matchup with the Metagross in the back. So we're going to go for 1 Dark Pulse here against the Gyarados. They are kind of more switch locked than me, but they're shielded up anyway, which doesn't matter then. We're just going to let it go, as all moves are resisted on our Dragon type Pokemon here, as as we're gonna be able to farm down. We can go into our Metagross, they swap into the Hexorus, and of course Hexorus is gonna be a little bit of a problem as they get to the moves way faster than me with a Night Slash, and especially if they boost, it's gonna be a little bit trickier here as they're gonna put us lower and lower. And we see them going for another move here. We have to shield and they gonna go for the boost, which didn't matter at this point in time, of course, anymore. But still, like, we are in range for one superpower easily. So we have to swap in time and we swap perfectly into the Hydreigon. Going to be able to soak this Surf, which wouldn't have KO'd anyway, but okay. As we go for one Meteor Mash, and my opponent just surrenders here anyway. Good game there. Next up, we're gonna have Hydreigon against Snorlax. A very decent matchup for us, but they swap out into their own Gyarados, which has sadly Dragon Breath, so my entire team loses to Dragon Breath Gyarados. So we have to stay in here a little bit, take one move, go for one Dark Pulse, and then swap out into our own Gyarados. That's the plan here. They're gonna shield up and we should put them now into one crunch range. Of course, it's still gonna be not the best matchup as they can go for one crunch for themselves. But this crunch is gonna come through, should KO my opponent, and we can realign our Pokemon with a one shield advantage, which is nice. As we see the Primarina coming in here, which looks kinda awkward for us, as we have to go now into our Metagross. And of course our quick moves are now only neutral and we can go for one Meteor Mash. Do we get the shield from the opponent? We have to see here. We do get the shield, which looks pretty nice for us. We're gonna shield this up here now. They go for the Moonblast, they're gonna swap out. I think I make a misplay by swapping out here that fast, to be honest. I shouldn't swap out that fast. They go for the Body Slam there. We can go for one Meteor Mash. This Meteor Mash not gonna be able to KO my opponent, and they're gonna get us lower and lower with a lick. We have to let something go. We have to shield. We're gonna shield this one. He goes for the Body Slam. Smart move by him. We have to try to farm all the way down. There's no way otherwise to win this game, and they can go for another Body Slam, which is gonna be able to win them the game. If they went for the superpower there before, like, they would have lost because of the debuff there, but sadly they didn't misplay it, which was well played by them then. And we can go here for one Dark Pulse again against the Gyarados, and we're gonna see here that he got, I think there was a debuff, I don't know, but we can get the last shield there, like the first shield there from my opponent. We swap into our Gyarados and then swap into their Mamoswine. No, Mamoswine is not the best answer for a Gyarados, but okay, thanks. We have a horrible lead here with the Togekiss. We can go to a Gyarados. This is the main reason why we run Waterfall on this Gyarados in specific. Usually I don't really like Waterfall Gyarados as a safe swap, but here we need it because of the fairy types. As they go into their own Waterfall Gyarados and we get the debuff, and we should be able to now farm all the way down with the Hydreigon, which can be nice. We just gonna go directly into it because the switch are gonna be up anyway. They can go for another charge move, which is fine. And now we can align our Metagross against their fairy type, and we have to see what they have in the bag. Hopefully it's not gonna be an answer, and it is the Swampert, and there is nothing I can do here anymore as Swampert is a hard counter to Metagross. So yeah, this is gonna be it for this game. There's not a lot that I can do anymore. We're gonna take the Hydro Cannon here. They can get to another move there. We're gonna shield this up as well. They go for another Hydro Cannon. And we can go for one Earthquake here. Hopefully this KOs them and maybe they just let it go, but they don't. And we get lower and lower. We can go into a Hydreigon. I was expecting them to go for an Earthquake or a Sludge Wave here as they had enough energy, but they didn't. We can actually go for one Dark Pulse against this Fairy. We can KO him here. We see the Swampert coming in again, and he goes for one Hydro Cannon, which was definitely not the play as I need another one. And now we are very close to another Meteor Mash, and we're gonna be able to see him P-tie on that and win the game, even though this was one of the hardest counters possible. That was kinda insane. So we go into the next match with the Hydreigon against the Gyarados, again with the Dragon Breath. As we can go for a Dark Pulse again, we just let it go as it's always resisted. They don't get the debuff, which doesn't matter as we swap out anyway after this move. And they let it go, which is interesting. They go into their Metagross while we are switch locked against the with the Gyarados here, which is a really good matchup for us. As they're gonna shield it up and they get the defense drop. I'm just gonna shield up here as well, because the thing is, if people run the Metagross as a safe swap, it's very likely that they could also run the Psychic. This Psychic is a very nice coverage move, especially especially against those Gyarados, where you can do a lot of damage with them, especially if you catch them off guard. But I guess my opponent doesn't run this, so we are fine here. We still win back switch advantage here, as we can farm all the way down, and we see the Excadrill in the back, which gonna be able to, like, yeah, he just surrenders. We had a shield left, we would have survived one move anyway. We see another Excadrill in the lead. Of course, Excadrill in the lead seems to be the worst possible, like, lead anyway there. But the thing is here, if the game doesn't lag, I think it lagged there though, we can go for 1 Dark Pulse. If he let it go, he's on range for 1 Waterfall, which he is here. I tried to swap, oh no, it actually didn't lag, and we can just farm down there. This is the hilarious part. You always win this if they let the Dark Pulse go through, but otherwise I would swap out anyway, as you get them lower enough to be even in range for 1 Medium Mesh. And we see the Primarina here, and we go for another move, and we actually gonna be able to get all the Primarina with our Gyarados. But now we have a problem here, as my opponent has a Gyarados as well, which is gonna have the... I actually don't know why I did this. This didn't make sense at all. That's hilarious. Yeah, okay, this was a really dumb move for me, to be honest, because now he's not in range for 1 Medium Match anymore. And I think we're gonna lose this match, as well as he denies me here. I think this deny actually mattered a lot, which you're gonna see later. We can go for another Medium Mesh here, of course. This Medium Mesh gonna get the last shield, but it's gonna come down to the wire. Can we get to another move? We are 1 move short from it. And if we didn't get denied the 1 turn there, we would have been able to get to the Medium Mesh in time here and win the game. But yeah, this is the game we play. This is still the main issue which I have. Like, for me, most games are gameplay-wise at least acceptable. Like, maybe not always perfect, but at least acceptable. The thing that's just not acceptable is the inconsistency of fast moves still. Like, I don't know. If we ever get a fix for this, it seems to be like a major problem that's not easy to fix. Otherwise, I think they already would have fixed it. So yeah, we have to see and hope that they can do something here. We can realign our Pokemon, which is amazing here, as we really didn't want to have the Fairy type against our Hydreigon, and we can swap out and we see the Waterfall Gyarados against our Hydreigon, and we are looking very good here, as there's not a lot that they can do. They go for the Crunch. They don't really do a lot of damage with the Crunch, as you can go for 1 Dark Pulse. And yeah, we get the shield there from my opponent. We're just gonna let it go again, because I don't really want to get hit by a flamethrower, to be honest, as we're still gonna be able to farm them down, but they're just gonna surrender anyway. Good game. There we have the Excadrill in the lead again. We're just gonna stay in. They swap out into the Melodic, and I have nothing really for Melodic, which doesn't really look too good then for me. We go for the 1 Dark Pulse. We get the shield. I just want him to throw a Surf against me, and then I'm gonna swap out, I think. They go for the Surf, okay. And I'm gonna catch the move on my Metagross. Metagross is really useless against the Excadrill anyway, so I was like, okay, I can just stay in here and maybe farm up extra energy. That would be nice. And go for another Surf. I can just farm up extra, and we should be able to get to an Earthquake against the other thing against the Excadrill anyway, and we should be able to get the last shield from my opponent now. As they go for it, we can swap out as well here now into our Gyarados, which is going to be our end game Pokemon anyway, as they go for the Rock Slide, and they see another Gyarados in the back. That's going to come down to the wire again. I don't know if we can win this, but we have like 2 moves energy advantage. We have a shield advantage. We should be okay here, I think. We're just going to have to let this move go. We don't let the move go. They go for the Crunch. I don't know if this was the right play, to be honest. I actually don't know if this does lose me the game here. I shouldn't have shielded this, I think. It might have lost me the game. Never mind, to catch the move perfectly, of course. What a nice thing here, as we can go now for 1 Awkward Tail and win the game. But I had to catch the move there, like otherwise I would have lost this game. So maybe not the right play there, but we have to see, like, it worked out well, so I'm fine with that. Next up, Mamoswine lead, horrible for us. We swap out immediately. We see the Togekiss coming in, which is okay for us, especially as we should be able to get a shield from the Togekiss in this scenario, as they're gonna shield the first move already, and we can go for another Awkward Tail and get them very low. They're gonna let this go. They're gonna throw the move, which is amazing for us, as this gonna allow us to see him boost up, which doesn't matter at all, as we get more farm with our Metagross, which might even be beneficial for us, as we're gonna try to catch the move on our Hydreigon, which didn't work out that well. But the thing here is that we're gonna be able to Dragon Breath down this Mamoswine, especially after 1 more Dark Pulse here. We should be able to Dragon Breath down the Mamoswine from my opponent, which gonna allow us to get to another Dark Pulse against the Gyarados most likely, as we're gonna shield up this Avalanche as well. And And yep, we have directly one Dark Pulse. The Dark Pulse comes through, and this is gonna be able to put them very low. They go for a move, and we have one Media Mesh stored in the back, and there's not a lot that they can do about this anymore. Good game there to my opponent, as we're gonna be able to win this game. Into the last game here, we're gonna have Hydreigon against Hexorus. It's actually a decent matchup for Hydreigon. It's something that you don't really know because like you never see this matchup, but you can shield once and farm all the way down. There's nothing that the Hexors can do here. They get actually the boost, which is horrible, but hey, it's fine. Like the boost really mattered, I think. I think he wouldn't have been able to farm me down here. Otherwise, definitely not. I would have got to another move, which is really horrible. So like my opponent had like a lot of luck with boost recently against me, which is not really cool. Can they just stop or something? We see the Magnezone coming in here, which is horrible as well. Doesn't really look too good for us at this point of time. We're gonna let the move go. They're gonna go for the Wild Charge. We're gonna go for the bait with the Media Mesh, so they have to throw another move. Let's see what we can do. We're gonna get the shield from my opponent, and they're gonna go for the Mirror Shot, which doesn't KO us. And we're gonna be able to get to another move here, which does also not KO my opponent, as it's double resisted, and we can spam another Awkward Tail, which is gonna win us the game here. Thanks all for watching. See you next video. Have a great rest of your day, and bye.